Good afternoon, folks. Thank you for joining us. We're going to wait just a minute while we have folks come in out of the waiting room here. So give us about a minute of awkward silence here before we start.
Mhm.
We can already see, though, Dave, we can welcome our friends from Indiana and North Carolina and Arizona, and glad to have you all with us today. Thank you for joining.
It's always great to see how many different states and even territories people are joining us from. So, yeah, thank you. So, um, all right, we'll go ahead and get started here. I'm Dave Carter with Flower Hill Institute, along with Chris Roper. We're the two regional directors for Flower Hill. We have a agreement with USDA's Agricultural Marketing Service to coordinate the network of organizations USDA brought together to provide no-cost technical assistance for meat and poultry processors. And today the topic is really important because when you ask meat and poultry processors what their biggest challenges are, right up at the top of the list is workforce. How do we get good workers? How do we train them? How do we keep them? And so we're really pleased today to have a couple of folks that have got some insight on that. And before I introduce them, just a couple of housekeeping things. First of all, this is being recorded, so it will be on our Flower Hill website. So that folks that can attend today, or if you want to listen to some of the stuff afterwards, you can download it very easily. You will be getting a two-question survey after this. The question is number one, how did we do this time around? And number two, what are some topics you want us to cover in the future? So just take a minute to give us your feedback when we're done. As we go forward, be sure and put your questions into the Q&A, not the chat, but in the Q&A. If they go in the chat, we'll probably likely miss them. But if you put your questions in the Q&A, Chris and I'll be looking for them as we go forward. Um, so with that, before I introduce the folks, Chris, anything you want to add in here at the start?
Very important topic, as Dave mentioned. We've got two experts in their field, so to speak. And know that the workforce development has really grown, not just the focus in meat and poultry processing, but on farm processing, on farm workers, our plant workers. It's grown so much, and the training resources are equally as diverse. So when Dave and I are looking at training opportunities, obviously we look for, the need and what scale. There can be all kinds of different training opportunities, but we really like the opportunities that our guests are that have and are offering, and we want to make sure that everyone knew about what they offer. It's different from what you might conventionally see at some of the other major universities. There's different types of degree programs, all the way down to different certificate programs. So we want to help you all find the types of trainings that you're needing and looking for, and that's why this is such a unique opportunity to visit with our professionals here today. So welcome you all, and thank you for joining us.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and talk about diversity. Yeah, we have very diverse today. So, we're really pleased. Dr. Catherine Dominic Perez from the University of Puerto Rico at Maguez is there. Chris and I have had a chance to tour her facility a couple of times down there and to talk to her, and Dr. Mildred Alvarado from Cornell University with their small farm programs. So. First of all, let's have you guys introduce yourselves real briefly. So, Catherine, go ahead.
Sure. Thank you guys for having us on today. I enjoy usually from the other side, so this is going to be interesting. I hope we can all keep learning. But yeah, my name is Catherine. I'm from Puerto Rico, and I did animal science here for my undergrad and master's degree, and then I went on to Nebraska for my PhD, and then came right back. Studied muscle science and muscle biology. under Dr. Chris Calkins from Nebraska. So I got to experience some cold the very first time I saw snow at UNL. But really enjoyed my time there. And now I'm back here working with the beef cow calf unit. And then I work out of the fresh meats lab as well. So we're trying to work a little bit on research projects, faculty things, giving classes, so doing a little bit of everything. So very nice to be with you guys today.
And before we came on, she said that they've gotten some rain there that may be an offshoot of the hurricane. We're all thinking about the folks in
Yeah.
Jamaica right now,
Mhm.
keeping them in our prayers because that's a
Yeah.
pretty devastating event that they're going through today. Um,
Mhm.
and Mildred, go ahead, give us a quick introduction.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. My name is Mildred Alvarado. I am working with the Cornell Small Farms Program as Associate Director, and also I am leading the farm management and bilingual online courses and working with farmers statewide, helping them to develop their workforce in different skills. So my background is agriculture and markets, and I have been working in many countries in Latin America, from Brazil to Mexico, and now here in the United States, in the Northeast. It's a pleasure for me to be here, and we are here, as Catherine said, we are going to learn from you, and we are going to share what we have been learning in our process here in Cornell.
Great. So I guess maybe to start off, first of all, um, getting people into the classroom, I guess, is the starting point. Sometimes, meat processing isn't the most glamorous career field that people want to look at. And I know, Catherine, you've done some work down in Puerto Rico. And how do you get out and get students interested in meat processing?
Yeah. So it's a very, like you said, no, it's not very popular, not very common, but at least what I tried to do, we do get a decent amount of students interested in animal science, more so maybe kids that are interested in going into pre-vet, but maybe don't know that there's meat science as an option. So I usually when I started, I had the basic animal science class. So I kind of keep a lookout and then I catch them really young. And then invite them over kind of to the meat lab, get students interested. And then we're working on some stuff that we've tried to diversify and not only recruit from animal science. So trying to, have feelers out there and put your eye out on kids that you kind of see some potential and then pique their interest, so to speak.
Good. Very good. And Mildred, with your small farm program, you're bringing in a lot of um, students, English as a second language, that how do you start to work with them and bring them into the overall program that you work?
Thank you, Dave. Well, we have an online program from, I think our director started this program 20 years ago, but we have almost 40 courses that represent the farm management per se. So we have courses from just starting a farm, and then as they are improving their skills, they can get more complex topics. So you can find farm management, financial topics, production, small livestock, QuickBooks, and all of these variety of courses that farmers ask. But because we live in New York, we have been experienced that demographic is also changing, and as you can see, the labor is more Hispanic, so maybe around 67% of the people who work in the farms are with the Hispanic heritage, and they do not speak English as a first language. The same thing right? I don't speak English as first language, and many farms rely on those managers, supervisors, and they are managing many people in the crew in different enterprises. So what we have been listening and hearing from the farm owners, so we need to have more educational opportunities that respond to our needs. So that's when we start learning. So we need to have a bilingual program. What is the language that is most demanded here is Spanish. And that's what we started from 2022, developing bilingual programs, but we offer in 3 different modalities. We have our online program that now we have Spanish and English, but also we have in-person and hybrid educational opportunities. But the online is very well received because not everybody have the opportunity to go because it's a very large state, right? And being in person. So that's when we have been learning what is the best way to present our courses. So we really need to understand who is going to be the target audience. Are these the owners that are going to talk just more about the business per se, administration, or are they going to be supervisors that they need to develop skills in production, communication, leadership, because they manage many people on the ground, or are they going to be crew or people who need to develop skills? So that's the way how we designed our courses. But and then when you can go to our website and you are going to enroll in the courses that you want, but also we get a lot of calls asking directly for one specific topic, and that's when we are developing more courses for different target audiences.
I wanted to add too, one thing that really made me love the Cornell Small Farms program is the diversity in the courses that you offer online. If those that are tuned in, if you haven't seen that, that's smallfarms.cornell.edu. They have on-farm poultry processing. They have, which is a self-guided online course. They have business plans, class on business plans, on financial management, beef cattle management, just all kinds of different topics. So it's very diverse, and it's set up that it can be self-paced. So if maybe you have workers that want to learn, or maybe you have managers that need to brush up on skills, very, very different type of setting than what you might find at the college level or at the college 4-year degree program. So, just another opportunity for folks to learn in a different way.
And
Oh,
we can put the link for that in the chat here, so you can do that. I know Rebecca Thistlethwaite is on tuned in here, and Niche Meat Processing, has also got a rich library of some online things, and we'll talk about that. But I just want to say anecdotally, Chris and I have both enrolled in the on-farm poultry processing
yeah.
there, so we can learn more about that, because we tend to be more four-legged guys in what we've worked with through our careers. So yeah, it's very, very good. But talk a little bit more about the importance of having that access to online learning.
Mm-hmm. Catherine, you would like to start?
Oh, well, sure. But I'm sure you have more information on that. But yes, absolutely. So for our case, we are babies in the online world, to put it some way. We are actually working right now to try to do our first online. We're trying to make like a type of certificate, something similar to maybe like a GMP or a HACCP course, where you take a certain amount of hours and you get a certification. So we're trying to put that together and pulling resources from, information we got from stakeholders that was important to them. And hopefully we have that up and running pretty soon. That's with one of the workforce development grants. It's an HSI grant that was awarded towards the end of 22, beginning of 2023. So that's going to be our dabble in the online world. We do a little bit more now on the in-person side, but we're going to learn a lot. It's a steep learning curve. We're putting that course together right now.
Mhm. Thank you,
Go ahead,
Catherine.
Melody.
Yeah, in our case, where the course that Dave just mentioned about the on-farm poultry processing, Well, this is as you can see, Catherine is offering in-person settings, right? Having an online course is very difficult, but because of the reasons that is sometimes it's very difficult for people in New York to be in person. That's why we started developing this course. But the main point here is how we can create this course that is easy to learn, because we have many people who have different levels of education and also different levels of experience. So, and how we are going to support those. So the way how we created the on poultry processing course is with videos and guidance. It's self-paced, as Dave said, and we have been consulting with farmers what they need, and that's the way how we started developing with specialists from Cornell Cooperative Extension. So we work very close with the people who are experts in order for us to develop these courses. And another thing that in this case, this course is for producers that have some exceptions, right? It's not for every farmer should comply with some request, because that is the information that we are putting together. But when you complete this course, you can get a certificate that in some cases the insurance company are taking it as a way to prove that you learned the process, especially in food safety and other compliances. So the course is we have different chapters or main topics. We have the farm food safety, that is for growers with 1,000 bird limits extension. So it's, as I said, it's not for everybody, because that we have not get there yet. But we have many readings and videos that farmers can follow and watch, and they can see themselves, because it's like hands-on, but with the videos, right? So we have also another topic that is preparation for processing date. Before that topic, we also have responsibility versus regulations, and you are going to find there also readings, resources, and then we have the preparation for processing date that should be prior to ordering chicks, right? And this section, we cover the items that farmers should be thinking about, those to gather before processing they arrive. And also we have equipment and supplies needed, especially depending on the number of birds that the farmers plan to process. That is the equipment needs, and it may vary, but we are trying to put our best in this recollection of resources and also with experts there. And you are going to find another setup for processing date. That is another topic that we offer. And so this is a setup you have to have in place for processing, and how this is going to impact the flow efficiency of the date. So we also have another that is processing directly. It covers in details, and you can see that in the video, the steps required to produce ready-to-cook poultry from your farm, from pre-slaughter through the chilling. And then we have also the processing, the packaging and storage, cover quality control, breaking down of carcass and packaging materials, and also we have environmental considerations in the same course that is important. And at the end, every single section, farmers are going to find a quiz, and they have to complete the quiz, and otherwise they cannot pass to the other section. So it's very important to take this very seriously. And as we work with most of our students in the continuing learning are adults or people who are part of the industry. They really take care of this, and that's what we try to honor as well, to have very reliable and high quality information and resources for the farmers. At the end, when you finish it, you are going to get your certificate, and we do not guarantee, but many insurance take it as a proof that you have that certification help you with the insurance program. So many of our students have money to pay, but others do not have. So if they are workers or but they still want to learn, we also offer scholarships, and even for free when they are based in New York City, most of them. But also we have a scholarship for statewide if there is people who are interested. That is the way how we offer that course. And another thing that's important, I believe all our courses, as Dave and Chris explained, we really think about the farm, what the farm and the farmer needs. So the planning process, marketing and market needs, also the production per se. So people identify themselves and costs and also profits. So people can see, oh, if I want to buy this equipment, how much is going to cost, and I can do my own partial budget and see if that is a good investment, right, for the farm that they have. So we try to have a very holistic approach as well, as we don't want to teach anything that's not going to be useful for our students.
Good. Catherine, you
Mhm.
have focused a little more on the hands-on side of things. And a little bit, as Mildred talked about, recognizing the difference in enterprises and the scale, and how have you approached that as you work to try and develop a workforce for the processors in Puerto Rico?
Sure. So on the hands-on side, what we've done is that we are collaborating with you.
We may be having some technical difficulties with Catherine right now.
University of Virgin Islands, and the collaboration has been very good.
You know what, Catherine? Go ahead and turn off
Yeah,
your video. Your bandwidth is a little low
sure.
there,
Okay,
and take it
absolutely.
from the top.
Hopefully,
Yeah, take it from the top there.
yes.
Yep.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry. Okay, yeah, we collaborate with UVI, and our production system is like medium to small, more on the smaller side. So what we have been trying to focus on is getting kids that we're pretty much aware that they have no experience or come in with limited experience. So what we've done is that we've done an interactive type crash course of sorts, and then we put them through a system where they take first a workshop series where they work hand on hand with us in the lab. So they get practical experience with basic butchering and further processing. From there on out, then we visit industries, and we make it a purpose to visit industries that are on the kind of, larger scale, if you will, but we try to hit up a lot of the smaller ones because we're realistic in the sense that, it's probably more like what they might be able to do themselves or become involved with. And then once we visit many industries around the island, then we match up students with a specific industry based on their needs or their liking. And we kind of make that match kind of to where they are and that they can easily get to the place of work and stuff like that. And then they get several weeks where they pretty much are almost like employees in the plant or in the business or the farm or wherever they might be stationed at. And then we get feedback from them, were they capacitated enough? Would this be a student that maybe with more practice you could hire them, and go along those lines to gather some data as we go. But essentially, we try to condense it all, and then we've made it into a summer so that kids from UVI can also have the chance to come and participate from that particular course.
And Catherine, what is your class size? Was it around
So
20?
Yeah, I've had 20 come through because it should be it's part of a different grant, and that one is it's a 5-year grant, but essentially, first year was planning, so it's gonna be 4 summers. We have been done with the second summer now, and they've been batches of 10 kids. You guys have visited our lab, but for you guys that don't know, it's a very small lab. It's not huge, but in order to work comfortably, and that, they gain some confidence working around the table and stuff and getting their hands dirty, we take in groups of 10 kids at a time. So
Mm.
we've had 20, and hopefully we'll the next 2 summers we'll have 20 more kids come through the program.
And then how is the internship that you mentioned
Hmm.
paired up with the in-class
Hmm.
work? What's the time frame on each one of those?
Okay, so the workshop series lasts, I want to say, 6 consecutive days. And there we do a blend of, I have experts come in on a matter, say someone from microbiology, someone from food science, and then people that hit up a specific type of animal. So I say I have a swine specialist come in or a poultry specialist. So they come in and they cover a little bit of theory in the mornings usually, and then in the afternoons we break up that. So say, I have the person from swine come in, and then we break up swine carcasses with them. And then the same for further processing, and we do hot dogs and bacon, and we do all sorts of things with them. So we break it up and balance the theory and the hands-on practice. And then for the last component, so then we spend a week in the interim of things. There's a week where we hit up the industries in the island, and then for 3 more weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, they get hands-on practice where they get married to a specific plant or a farm. um, and I always try to in the process where they fill out the forms to be, because it has become a quite competitive course to get into. So we try to have those questions answered. Like if they already come in knowing that they want more practice on a certain type of animal, or if they really want to be further processing or at the farm level, we try to gather that information and also kind of work really quickly. I get to know them very, very well before they officially start the course to make sure that it makes sense that I place them in an industry where they want to actually work. So yeah, it's kind of finding the right fit according to what the student kind of wants.
Yeah, yeah, a real crash course over about 5 or 6 weeks then, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
intense. We get very little sleep, but we have fun.
Oh, that's great though. It's another alternative, to other degree type programs or other certificate programs. So, as many of you are thinking about the differences in the two programs between University of Puerto Rico and Cornell, there are obviously other university programs that we could connect you with as well if you wanted some different types of training. So, please don't be afraid to reach out if you see a need and you haven't found the right resource yet for training, whether it's for yourself or your employees, please reach out to us. There are many options or many more available over the last several years than what you might have seen 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. So we want to help you find that diverse learning environment that fills the need that you have. So we see a lot of different needs out there.
Yeah, and I think that's important because over the last couple of years, National Institute for Food and Agriculture at USDA has put some resources into particularly community colleges and technical schools to develop some training programs. And, we want to make sure that folks in your area that we could maybe connect you with those programs that are ongoing right now. So, um, Catherine, you focused, you talked about, yeah, people coming in and cutting meat and making sausage and brats, but for both of you, I mean, in Mildred, you talked about the holistic approach. Um, when you talk about a smaller meat processor, the training needs are almost, uh, you know, unending. Let's put it that way. So, how do you approach, to talk about QuickBooks or understanding marketing or food safety, those type of things?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, where first we have different levels. We have level 1, you are going to find a Beef 101 or QuickBooks like a 201. And that is because they have more expertise in the topics, or farmers have more experience. But when we talk about holistic approach, we have to think about the whole, right? The farmers are very busy and they do not have the time to be connected all the time. So we offer our courses in 4 different blocks. We started offering in September when we have webinars in live, when we invite other farmers as a guest speaker, and they present the way how they are doing exactly what we are teaching. So our courses online also are very engaged and practical. But usually we teach in 6:30 to 8 during from 1 day per course when webinars in live webinars, because you have the opportunity to interact with the expert. But in this case, the poultry processing course is self-paced, so you can do that at any time. But when we talk, okay, if farmers are just beginning their farm and they need to learn more about consideration to minimize the risk, right? What kind of equipment I need, what kind of land I need, what is my target market, how we are going to sell these products. So we are trying to generate self-reflection, and they can make decisions more informed. That is our goal. So that farmers, especially beginning farmers, that they can minimize the risk of buying something or doing something that is not suitable for their enterprises. But in the case when we work with farm workers, it's a little different because their schedule is no, and they have many difficulties with digital literacy and also internet access. So we have also other tools like WhatsApp groups, and many of them do not have, they do not have email. So how we can elevate the learning process for them to be able to access these online opportunities. So we offered other resources that they can increase their skills in technology mainly. And for example, this course, the on-farm, we are going to translate it soon. So we are translating right now 8 courses, and we are going to have the same information bilingual. So the farmer, the one that are not comfortable in English, they can also watch the same course in Spanish or other languages. So that is our holistic approach. We sometimes we teach Saturdays and Sundays because that's when farm workers have time to learn, and we never teach at 1 or 2 p.m. But most of the farmers do not have time to join these opportunities. So we are thinking about that. But the holistic approach is old. So what is your mission? What is your vision? What your goals are? What things you need to learn? You already have some resources, but if you understand what is your situation, so you can decide what kind of development, professional development path you need to follow. Maybe you don't need these courses, so we can suggest a higher level, and then people can decide, okay, this is the topic that I need in person, because we also have in person more in technical assistance. So we have been learning, working with workforce, especially farm Hispanic background, a lot of communication and conflict resolution and leadership situation, because some of them, if you work with apple orchard, you have more than 100 farm employees there. So how you can lead and make sure that people are using their time efficiently, because at the end, everything is money, right? Everything is direct cost. So people can see that as an opportunity to learn from other farmers, but also giving their key employees opportunities to learn. At the end, the employees is also a very important asset, that is going to affect your profits at the end. So that is our approach.
Great. And before we get, because we've had some questions come in here from Jessica, but before we toss that to you, Catherine, let me just ask how how you are approaching that, trying to give
Yeah,
them the broader view,
sure.
other than just cutting meat.
Absolutely. So based on what the stakeholders have kind of told us at all levels, whether they be the people that are kind of producing the animals or the meat, and then people that are involved in slaughter and people that are involved in further processing. So based on all that input, there's a really strong, common string, I guess, between all of them, which is that economic component. Um, so we have tried, and what we've done is we've gone through at the university, have gone through the approval process for curricular sequence. It's the same thing as kind of like a minor. And within the minor, we have come up with a list of courses to make up like 15 credits, and then we try to make it diverse. So we've included in there a course that's based on ag economics, having that in mind and how important that is, like business planning and, crunching numbers. So we've included that, and we've also kind of left it a little open to where if students want, again, if they have that business mindset, they can take elective courses that are in business school. They don't have to be specific to animal science or College of Ag. So we've tried to make it as open as we could based on that input and insight that we received. But I would say economics, and of course, on the further processing side, we try to then include more of those topics on the workshops and more hands-on courses, like even the basic course that we have for meat processing. We try to see how we can widen that a little bit, because we have a lot of people come through and say, how can I improve my yield on this? And can I do something with this product that is going to waste now? So trying to target those things based on the classes that we already, have up and running. Plus, in that curricular sequence or the minor, that's what we tried to tackle, making sure that in those 15 credits, they get a wider view, especially on the business side and the economic side of things.
Jessica has fed us some questions here. And one of them is there a list of training programs available across the country? We do have a database. So we haven't updated it in the last year. We probably need to tackle that, but we do have a database. NPAN, Niche Meat Processing Assistance Network, also probably has some knowledge of these training programs that are available. So yeah, reach out to us. And Mildred, you kind of answered. Go ahead, Chris.
We Jessica, we'll email that over to you right away. If anyone else is looking for those training opportunities, shoot us an email. We'll make sure you get the info.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And then talking about the using an online program from Michigan State University, but it's not available in Spanish. So the bilingual, I think, Mildred, you kind of answered that is coming in, but then she said, Dr. Alvarado is discussing potential literacy concerns for our Spanish speakers. Is there an exam suggestion as a prerequisite to online learning to help the employer determine whether online learning is feasible?
That is a very important and very good question. Because our program is like the first time that we are presenting and giving these opportunities to all people that want to get better skills, and education is for all, right? So we have an intake survey, intake interview, but in online is more intake survey, what their skills are. And what I have noticed working here with many farm workers that are getting training, most of them do not have skills in digital literacy, but we cannot say no, because this is the first time that they are trying to get. And you see, so what we offer options. We offer in Zoom meetings with them to teach them to navigate. We use Teachable as a platform in our online courses. So we offered hours after our webinar in live, so we can get with them and teach a little bit how they can navigate in our platform, but also we ask them if it is okay for them to receive information using the WhatsApp platform. So we are exposing them to more where they are used to use. They are used to have a WhatsApp and other social media, so it's easy for them to watch the video, to see the PowerPoint presentation, and that way and also we send information by email, but sometimes people call us directly, and we are open to receive that calls because we really want to be inclusive, and at this time we don't have that line, so this we can have in another time this student, but it's more about because it's for everybody who wants to learn. However, for example, I am teaching right now a class, online class, and we have 17 students, but just about 20 students are very good using emails and the Teachable platform, but many of them communicate with me using WhatsApp and text. But they also communicate just in Spanish, so it's very important for anybody who wants to develop a program to have a person who speaks English and Spanish and are cultural competent and also speak ag, because we need to understand the agricultural terms. You cannot have just an interpreter there. You have to have a person who understands Spanish, who understands the topic, in this case, farm processing and poultry processing, and also cultural competent. In New York State, we have many people from Mexico, from Central America, working on the farm, especially from Guatemala and and many of them even don't speak Spanish because they come from dialects or indigenous communities. So it's a very important challenge, but they are the ones that are working. So how we can offer support to the farmers and the workers, and they can get better skills and have a better outcomes in their farms.
Do you want to pass along the comment here from Rebecca?
Yeah, no, great comment from Rebecca. Rebecca mentioned that online learning requires computer, Wi-Fi, and familiarity with the learning management system. As Dr. Mildred has mentioned, the technological capacity has to be there, and the familiarity with the emails and Wi-Fi and all the technology that's available. And Rebecca mentioned that one option for this is to host an in-person hosting site for groups with online videos and an in-person facilitator. And I love the idea. I've seen that work very well. We've seen that work, especially in some indigenous communities that we work with, and they can bring workers into a central conference room or meeting space and have these in-person trainings with videos and a facilitator that can help explain all the information that's being shared. So great comment. And is that something that you've seen as well, Mildred?
Yeah, thank you, Rebecca, for your comment, because I also wanted to share that so we have another methodology that is following up the online course we call Juntos Aprendemos. And that means together we learn. And that is exactly what Rebecca mentioned. So after the course, after the 6 weeks, of the course, we follow up with them, with the one that want to put in practice what they learned. And we have a good collaboration with the farm owner. If, for example, we have been working with farm owners that have 3 farm employees taking the course with us. So, and there are many of them are in the same county, for example. We get together there and continue teaching them, but it's like a technical assistant follow-up, and we partner with the CCE, but we have another barrier that there is very few bilingual instructors. So we have we need to develop more human resources and instructors that are able to present the topics in both. So we have another barrier and another challenge that we need to. I really like the Catherine program because they are inviting students that is going to be the future workforce, right? So we right now in New York, it's hard to find bilingual instructors. So even when we have in one specific location, we need to have somebody there who speak both languages and is able. We are growing, so we started with 16 students, and now we have more than 400 people that have been taking our courses. And another thing that's very important is to offer a follow-up program when we work with diverse or with farm workers, because of the same limitation that we talk. They need to know that they are going to have somebody to follow up with questions after the course, because the course is just the window for them to expose to this opportunity. But once they are putting that in practice, they need to have somebody. And that when we do connections, that we call them networks of care, because we identify people that is local and they are willing to support those students that started with us. And that has been beautiful, how I have seen entrepreneur farm workers and farm owners, because we have many farm workers that are also entrepreneurs, and you see a lot of people interested in small livestock, that they have their own chickens and their own poultry process enterprise. So it's very interesting how people want to learn and put in practice what they learn. They can do that in their own houses, or small, or employers sometimes providing land access to have their small enterprise to start practicing what they learn.
Great information. Yeah, we appreciate you sharing everything. Jessica did have another question that popped up. What are some suggestions for attracting a bilingual supervisor to the central Indiana area? And is there a way to post a position with Dr. Perez or Dr. Alvarado?
Well, suggestion, if you are so trying to get somebody for your program, right, is bilingual. So I will say that you have to advertise a position in Spanish and English, both languages, and sometimes what is your core? If your core is that you really want to have somebody who is bilingual, you have to weigh that. When you have different indicators, right? When you want to, you have 10 resumes that are very good, but few of them speak Spanish. But the one that speaks Spanish do not have a lot of technical or experience in Indiana, because that is going to happen. We have here people who are bilingual, but they do not have a lot of experience in New York agricultural sector. So we have to be open to receive and onboard those people to learn more about the agricultural sector in New York, because it's easier to onboard people about the agricultural sector since they already have technical knowledge and maybe expertise in another state or country. So, but it's more difficult to have people that are cultural friendly, competent, and also they speak Spanish in different levels, because when you speak with rural people or people from rural areas, it's totally different when you speak with people with high level of education. So that technician or that facilitator that you want to look, or that manager, have to have that ability to be culturally humble, and also to become a facilitator and a real leader. Because you are going to find many difficult things when you work with people with different background, that it's just part of their experience, right? We all have different experiences, and maybe for some people, some things here are totally new, because in our home countries, you don't do that, especially when we work with poultry, right? So you have to make sure that people are open to learn, and that and they have that empathy, and also how do you say, the cultural humility, so that they are willing to learn.
That they're aware.
They are aware, and we
Mhm.
have also people who are bilingual that are from New York, and they are very open to learn, even when they have never been working with Latino or Hispanic community, but they have that desire to learn. Working with diverse communities, I think also is very important. In my opinion, the human side is more important than the technical side, because the
Yeah.
technical side, you can learn that in our courses, Cornell Small Farms courses, or in the university. But working with
Yeah, yeah, and let me just add, yeah, Jessica, your challenge is not unique.
Mhm.
We receive, Chris and I field a lot of questions from processors that are saying we need a supervisor.
Right.
You know, we're looking for this. And Catherine, maybe,
Yeah.
and I'm sure
And
that's not unique
yeah.
to the mainland. Yeah.
Definitely so. And I agree with everything that's being said. But there's a lot of times that sometimes you need to be open to getting a person in the door that, like what Mildred was saying, willing to learn. And I would say that we can certainly hand out our information, and we have a lot of kids coming through the program, and maybe they're searching for that first employment opportunity. So it could be a very good learning and growing experience for them. Usually, at least for us, we have pretty much, yeah, all our kids coming through the program are pretty much fluent or bilingual most of the time. So we can share our contact information, and as soon as postings or job openings or internships are available, whatever it might be, sometimes having internship options are great because you get to kind of, it's a dual purpose type thing. You kind of see if it's a good fit for them. So we can whenever there's a posting or anything, we can get the information and we can circulate it among the department and see, if there's someone interested, if there's a candidate that kind of fits what you guys are looking for. But I agree completely with Mildred. Sometimes it's a matter of just getting a person that's willing to learn, even though that's not their specialty area, but I think that is very important. But I could certainly share my information, and whatever job posting is available, I'd be happy to circulate it.
Me too. We have many. We have our database, and we have many bilingual supervisory managers interested in having, but they do not have a college degree. That is another thing, that depending on what you are looking, right? But but we can share with people who have been in our courses, and they can also apply when these opportunities arise.
And I think it's important to keep in mind, Jessica, you're probably going to have to train them,
Right.
some of the things that you want. You're probably not going to find the person that checks all 10 of your boxes. So if you get 6 out of 10, you may end up training for the other four. So keep that in mind too. But, if you can find somebody that really hit some of the more important features and attributes that you're looking for, just know you're probably going to have to train a little bit and to get those other skill sets filled. But Rebecca had a good comment too, and she recommends advertising with the Hispanic serving institutions in the U.S.
Mhm.
And she noted that Indiana has 6 Hispanic serving institutions. And if you need help finding those, Jessica, let us know, and we'll help get you to those as well.
Mhm.
Lucille added her email as well. Lucille, let us know what you're specifically looking for, and if you want to be connected to our panelists, we're happy to get those emails to you, and we'll have their contact info up in here in a few minutes as well.
Yep. And also, just to, yeah, and if you're interested in any of the programs in your area there in Texas, there again, we'll send that. Just pop us an email here. So, um, let's see. I guess question wise, yeah, we're getting down to the end of the questions here.
We got a,
Um,
okay, yeah. Yeah. Seeing if we had any more questions come in. We're
and
getting to the last few minutes. If anyone has any other final questions, please get them entered so we can make sure to get them answered for you. Or otherwise, you're welcome to email Dave and I at any time, and we'll try to get you connected to the various training opportunities. Again, it can be at one of the other universities. I know that the uh,
Mhm.
Michigan was mentioned. They have some wonderful programs. University of Wisconsin has some wonderful programs. Oregon State, where Rebecca's from, they have some wonderful resources as well. So we want to make sure that we help fit your needs to the right training opportunity. Whether maybe it's a certificate, maybe it's an online program. No matter what it is, we want to help you find the right resources. So, do we have another one come in, Dave?
Well, it's just from another participant here that says, yeah, please send me additional information about trading opportunities. So we'll be doing that. And I think when we post this webinar, we'll also include a link to our database of some of the schools and universities there. I think that'll be very helpful. The last thing, with just the last couple of minutes, we talked earlier when we were kind of brainstorming this with um, our panelists about the importance of understanding the bigger supply chain issues. We talked about broadening for food safety and all of that, but let's talk about the supply chain side of it. And Catherine, what are you doing there for folks to
Mhm.
understand both the
Mhm.
supply chain of the animals coming in and the meat as it goes out?
Sure. I think in the education front, we've been trying to hit that up as best we can. And what we've been trying to kind of tell students coming through our programs is that, sometimes you have to take off your lens and put the lens of someone else on because sometimes we're very focused on, like, if you're in a specific area of production, say that you're the producer, we tend to see and be very passionate about, what we're doing and how we're getting paid for our product and all that stuff. But then we kind of forget maybe what the needs are for the other sectors of that chain. So trying to have kids be a little bit more mindful of the fact that every specific element of that chain is just as important because everyone wants to produce a quality product. But if there's problems in one of them, we're gonna fail at some point. So even if the farm does something right, if it screws up, further down the line or vice versa, and having them understand the holistic approach, like Mildred was saying, is very important. Everything that happens and what the meat goes through to get to your plate is just as important. So trying to shift that mindset with education has been very important for us, and we're trying to tackle that.
Great. Mildred, any last closing comment on that? Yep.
Yeah, so my experience working with supply chains has been more from importing from Peru, Ecuador, Mexico, but fruits and vegetables, and banana and avocado. But here, my experience in United States, in New York, what I have noticed is farmers. Most of our students are local farmers. They supplied food for their local context, right? And they have been doing like integration vertically, so they can find the right if a processor or a slaughter, and or they sell directly to the consumer. And I have noticed that from some of our students do a partnership with CSA, and they are finding the way how integrate in the supply chain or the value chain. And I think that is important that they should start small, in my opinion, because you need to develop trust. If you don't trust that everybody is complying in if there is any traceability or food safety concern, or so we need to trust in create a more I think community of uh, process farmer that processing. So it's important for me, and then to be transparency and honesty, and develop that community throughout the supply chain. And that's what I have noted. But depends of your volumes, right? And what do you need? Do you need to keep in production side and integrate it vertically, or to make more partnership throughout the supply chain? So that is important, and you can learn that in some of our courses as well.
Very good. Very good. Well, we're getting to the top of the hour. So as I'll have Nikki put up the slide here with your contact information. And before I throw it to you each for last comments, I always like to, the importance of as a processor, investing in your workforce. I love what our good friend David Zarling says, is he had somebody say, well, what if I put all of that time and energy into training getting a good trained worker, and then they leave. And David's response was, what if you don't do that training of them and they decide to stay? And so that's why, it's really, really critical. So Catherine, final comments?
Well, thank you guys for the opportunity. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Flower Hill, because you guys always support what we're doing. So we just keep on learning, and we're here for whatever you guys need, however we can help. More than happy to. Everyone has a home here in Puerto Rico.
So that's a good promise. Thank you.
Yes.
And Dr. Alvarado?
Yeah, I am here open to support in any way. So you want to start creating your own bilingual program to support your farm workers, just email me, and we are going to help in any way that we can. Thank you, Dave and Chris, for inviting me, and I am also available in other opportunities. If something is in person, that is the best way to teach and learn. But thank you very much.
All right, Chris, go ahead and wrap it up.
Thank you all very much. We appreciate our guests and everyone that tuned in to listen. There's obviously a lot more to share, a lot more training opportunities to talk about. With the hour we have goes by so fast. We obviously know that we want to share more with you, but please reach out. Let us know what your particular need is, and let us help you find the right solution for you or your employees or whatever it is you might be looking for. So please reach out.
I
Thank
think-
you all for joining us.
I think we've scratched the surface with this one, and we'll be covering it again, but also there's that 2-question survey coming your way. So be sure and give us your feedback and what are some other topics you'd like us to cover. So appreciate everyone for being here. And I think we got this done just about an hour, Chris. So everybody have a good rest of your day. Take
Thank you
care.
all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.